The SGX Nifty is telling us that we'll have a mild positive start, just about 10 points, a very flattish cues coming in. Let's keep it with stocks then. We've told you a lot of fundamental cues, but now let's get to this morning's momentumizer. Let's go across to Sonal for that.
Thanks a lot for that, Surbhi. Well, the stock on my radar today is Cummins. The stock has not done much this year. This week it was up around 3%, but yesterday it was down around 1.5% on large volumes. Well, yesterday's volumes were 2.5 times the average volumes that the stock trades at, and last 2 days' volumes were at around 90.6 lakhs. This compares with last 1 week's volumes of around 50.8 lakhs. So basically, it has doubled in last 2 days. In terms of price levels, also it is right now trading at 582, which is above its 20, 50 and 100-day moving averages. And the stock is just 11% off its 52-week high of around 652 rupees per share. In terms of the futures data as well, the maximum open interest, it is at 600 rupees per share. The management did tell us last month itself that they are seeing sequential recovery in their businesses, and they are also seeing an increase in inquiries. So let's see how it pans out, because the volumes have been really high in last 2 days.
Sweating. Okay, thanks a lot for that, Sonal. Let's invite Gurmeet Chadha, co-founder and CEO of Complete Circle Consultants. Well, there are a lot of stocks I want to ask you, but since we've anyway begun with Momentumizer on Cummins, how are you looking at Cummins itself, Gurmeet, and capital goods?
So, Latan, I think reasonably constructive on capital goods, not as much on Cummins. What we like, obviously, is the bellwether, which is L&T. I think with the easing of lockdown, I think we are clearly seeing resumption in the economic activity. And North, if you see, the order book is led by infra, and in South, it's largely the irrigation. And I think the execution will improve. Also on the net working capital, they have shown some resilience. So that's something I am looking at. Also, despite the news around cement and cartelization, I'm also looking at steel and cement as part of the larger infra, sector. If one want to look at, but one has to be cautious and let this event play out, because last time when 2012 the inquiry happened, it did had an impact on pricing for a good 2-3 quarters.
Okay, so be a little watchful. That's the advice. Gurmeet, good morning. What did you make of the whole UPL saga? I mean, the management clarified. Today, some brokerages have actually still put out a buy call on the stock. But what's your opinion?
But I think the stock probably seems to going through a bad phase since the Arista acquisition, and so initially there were concerns on debt and the LATAM markets not doing well. Now, once the operating performance finally showed some signs of pickup, this particular whistleblower complaint has happened. I'm a little disappointed on the disclosure standards, though. While one should never try and preempt and guess what's going to come out. But operationally, it did show some improvement. There was almost a 9,000 crore revenue. The Arista synergies was giving them cost savings of almost 250 crores and a revenue synergy of 350 crores. One of the leading agrochem players. I think the better call is still to look at PI Industries. I'm not saying PI would be the next UPL, but if you see the business, there's a great mix between agri inputs and CSM business. Agri input, they continue to do well in both in plant protection and nutrients. Post the QIP, they are investing in the CSM space. Great innovation skills there. Look at their 5-year, 10-year, ROC, it's a fantastic company, 1,000 crore kind of quarterly revenues now with a 200-250 crore run rate on profits. I think you will see them doubling over the next 2 to 3 years. So look at PI Industries in this space. And I think the pharma vertical should be another growth lever in my view.
Okay, PI Industries, some stock that has generated so much wealth for investors. Gurmeet, stay on. I do want you to listen into the next conversation that we're having on the cement space and then give us your comment, because as we know, there is a lot of talk about cement cartelization as well. So, a lot of these cement stocks have been under pressure. Rajesh Kumar Ravi of HDFC Securities joins us now. This was a CNBC TV18 news break, which was confirmed that yes, some of these companies are being probed for cartelization. Rajesh, good morning. Every time this cartelization news has come about, and it's not new, right? It's something that's been going on for years. That has been the best buying opportunity for cement stocks, because demand is also very strong. But how would you read into it this time?
Yeah, hi, good morning. On the cartel, news flows around all the cement majors, UltraTech, ACC, Ambuja, Shree, and Dalmia have put out press releases saying that they are being, investigated. However, if you see the last cartel allegations which went through, in a judicial mode, 2012, things are still sub judice. There has not been any conclusive evidence, whereby they are penalized, saying that cartel activity did happen. So cement, my sense is currently, first of all, this new investigation, there is no understanding that this is for the current period or it is for some prior period, because, CCI can take up matters also 2 to 3 years down the line. So that clarity need to come through. As for the current scenario, demand has been pretty strong in all markets. Our channel check suggests that North market has grown at around 5%, Central at more than 10 to 15% in this quarter. East is growing at 20 to 25%. West is also up by 5%. South is down around 10%, year on year. But, on a recovery phase, even South is on a recovery phase versus last quarter. On this cartel thing, yes, I agree that, there has not been much dent earlier also in stock prices when the news flows came through, 2 to 3 times during the judgment, coming through. So even this time, I don't see, other than a normal profit booking, maybe 3 to 5%, any major reactions unless there are severe allegations and,
Rajesh, 1 minute. I don't think it is the immediate reaction that we are worrying about. Won't there be a hesitation on the part of the companies to hike prices now? There was an expectation that in January they're going to raise prices. Now, won't they worry? Won't that price hike not be taken?
Exactly. So, if you see the price trend this year, 1Q prices have already gone up, and thereafter prices are either flattish or only sequentially moderating. Even in this quarter, prices are, in North are flattish Q on Q, whereas in all other markets, Central is down 1%, West is down 1%, East and South are down 2 to 3% Q on Q. So even in Q4, I don't expect that even despite this CCI intervention, if there was scope for price hike, because prices are quite healthy for, the players in all the markets. And even if prices, sustain through, that itself is a very strong number.
Saying is you're not changing the EPSs or your profit projections of any of the companies because of this news.
Yes, and even for FY22, we don't see, because again, as I said, that FY21 price base is very strong. To sustain through that in FY22 would be a big challenge, because companies on a normal tendency start to, push higher volumes, whoever are setting up capacities. And you can see this trend even in FY21. Companies which have set up capacities in North, like JK Cement, they are taking disproportionate volume growth. Even Ultratech is now pushing on volumes. Dalmia continues to be a, volume player. So I don't see fundamentally the companies will take, are in a position to take any major price hike in most markets, barring North and Central, where I have a constructive view that as a market that is fundamentally very strong.
Got it.
On a basis.
Okay, so Rajesh, let's just distill this down further. How much or which is the region which is going to see the maximum amount of capacity coming on stream in the next 12 months? Let's talk FY22. And because that's going to be the geography where there might be a risk of slight oversupply. Which is that geography that we need to watch out for?
So, East is seeing the maximum capacity additions, not only for next 12 months, even for next 2 to 3 years, every year. On an average, 40 to 50% of the new expansions are going into the Eastern markets, because that is one market which is also seeing strong double-digit growth. Even in COVID times, if you remove the April, May numbers, the market is growing at 20%. But yes, that is one market where a lot of brands are active, a lot of volume push is happening, and that is why price hikes in that market is very difficult to sustain through.
All right. We'll leave it at that. Rajesh, thank you very much for your analysis. So at least HDFC Securities is not changing any of its EPS forecasts because of the cartelization investigation that's underway. Okay, we'll come back to Gurmeet on cement, but before that, there's another set of stocks we want Gurmeet's opinion on, which is automobiles, because of the scarcity of auto ancillaries. So, Sonia, can you first present the data? We have been speaking, I think, for the past 1 week to auto majors. Tell us all that you have picked up on these shortages.
So I've spoken to almost all the auto players, and just to summarize it very quickly, Bosch India yesterday said that there's a supply shortage of semiconductors to OEMs. And remember, almost all the OEMs get a supply from Bosch, so this could really hamper their production. Now, why is there this supply shortage? We reached out to the OEMs, and Bajaj Auto told us that there is a huge demand coming in from the China market. China is now eating up 60% of the global production of these semiconductors and various other parts, compared to just 10 to 15% earlier. That's because of a massive 5G rollout that is happening in the telecom sector in China. And because of this, there is this supply shortage. Now, Minda Industries told us that the lead time for some of these parts has gone up to as high as 4 months compared to about 2 months earlier. Bajaj Auto told us for some of their parts, the lead time has gone up to about 52 weeks. And I'm just getting some insights from Endurance Tech, where they said that there is a large dependency on wafers from China. The capacities were downsized, and now they have issues in meeting the demand. Wuhan is giving a priority to domestic consumption, and hence there are short supplies in the outside world. Apple apparently has blocked capacities as huge demand inflows are happening, and smart metering is the next puller of semiconductors. So these semiconductors that were otherwise used in OEMs, now there are so many other avenues of demand, and that's why there's a short supply. Lata, this seems to be the main issue, and production will of course get hit. M&M said that they haven't been able to ascertain the impact of the production hit.
Okay, thank you very much, Sonia. So there are many things. Production itself was less because of COVID in several Southeast Asian countries, and plus multifarious demands largely from telecom and consumer electronics. Gurmeet, what does this mean? Maruti said it's raising prices. Maybe others will also have to. Maybe the number of vehicles, volume and price could be impacted. Does it change your view of autos?
Not necessarily in the medium term. I think obviously after some run-up, some consolidation will happen. But there are still some good opportunities to look at. So let's say, for example, in the small and mid-cap space, there's something Suprajit Engineering. Great company, initially started as just supplying mechanical cables to TVS. Now it's diversified across two-wheelers and four-wheeler passenger car makers. It's also got into Phoenix Lighting, diversified the product. Look at the 10-year revenue CAGR, 20% plus, ROC again in high 20s. Minda, Sonia was just discussing, we engage with them very regularly here, being based out of NCR. They're clearly focusing on a lot of content per car, diversifying from horns and lightings, which was their core, to, value-added stuff like, alloy wheels, airbags, infotainment systems. So I think there's, you have to probably look at the long term, use any opportunity to add, and I continue to be constructive on M&M and largely the farm equipment play.
Okay.